Hello and welcome to this week's vlog. He's not been on the vlogs for a while, has he, Joe?
No, he's been resting for a little while.
Looking grey, isn't he? Beautiful.
We've got a bit of wind today, so hopefully he might do a bit of decent soaring.
Yeah, and it's probably all the Brussels you ate at Christmas. He didn't even like the smell.
No.
Oh, he's ready to go. We'll let him go then.
He desperately wants to get going.
We won't mess with you any longer. Have fun. So what's this guy been up to recently, Emily?
He's been resting in his aviary, having a good time off. He's not so comfortable with all the hot weather, so the cold weather. Sorry.
It might be too heavy to fly. I don't know yet.
We'll soon see.
So he's having a bit of a rest because he's not too keen in the cold. So he's staying warm in his aviary, eating as much as he wants. Got a little bit fat.
He's very nice, isn't he?
He's normally a bit more chatty.
He's one of the strangest birds here, really, isn't he?
Yeah, he's the only one that doesn't mind a little bit of a head scratch.
Okay. Oh, bless him.
He's begged. He's not talking.
So he's just come out, and now you're going to go and fly Horizon, the eagle buzzard. Is that right?
Yeah. If he's on weight, that is.
He's on well. Good luck with that. If you get a chance, get us a bit of footage, Emily.
We will do.
Bye for now. Well, have a look over here.
You picking up my signal?
No, not yet. I haven't turned it on. So have a look. We're just filming a little bit about how to use telemetry. But have a look at this, because that's terrifying. We've got almost snowy weather. It's so frosty here, icy winter weather, and we've got a great grey owl, an owl of the Arctic forests. How magnificent! She's in her element. That huge-looking bird is actually very small. It's huge because it's so full of plumage and underdown feathers. It's designed for these harsh conditions, way colder than what my fingertips are putting it with today. She's a bit distracted because the horses have had a bit of a mad moment, and she didn't expect to see us here hiding behind one of the arches. Let's see if she'll do a flight for you guys on the vlog. Very unusual species of owl to look at, and certainly an incredibly popular species.
We keep looking back for the horse.
Don't worry about the horse.
If you come stand here, she'll come straight to you.
It's crazy. I'll try it. Hold on.
No, she will. I guarantee it.
I'm going to be an experienced day guest. If you could pick her as Falconry, you could be doing this right now. Actually, you couldn't. We're in deep lockdown. You're not allowed to come right now.
She must be able to hear all sorts of stuff.
It's so crisp today, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can hear.
Leo, hey! And she's not good with me anyway, is she? But
She's ignoring you.
tuned me out, doesn't she?
Yeah. She's like crawling in the cracks
She
of
was
that tree.
okay up there, but
There's something like
Yeah.
almost in that tree, isn't there?
Yep. Oh, she's gonna have a
there
look.
She goes.
Yep.
So she's really good at catching her own dinner, this owl. Hand-reared in captivity, but her senses are fantastic. Let's see what she's caught.
One of those little
So-
teddy bears.
Yes, so sometimes the children actually do have teddy bear picnics in here, and so far our owls have caught 2 small teddy bears over the last few years that someone's discarded. They've seen the beady eyes and obviously thought there's something in there.
She's eating something.
So she's got a vole, we think.
she might not have, but she thinks she has.
Might caught a leaf.
I can't zoom in because I've got gloves on. She's
So
feasting.
owls can't see very close up, so when they catch something they have to feel around with their beak, and special feathers around their beak that work like whiskers.
She's caught a bush.
She's caught a bush. Look at her wrestling with it. I'll tell you what though, can't you see the camouflage on that bird?
Yeah.
On the ground there.
She's right.
Absolutely blended in.
Leo, look, look, look. You haven't
She's so
got
naughty.
anything. Come on.
So it's a failed attempt, but don't forget she's hunting almost entirely by hearing. This owl's got some of the best hearing of any owl in the world, hence the huge facial disc. We'll give her one go. Should we give her one go?
What?
Should we see if she'll do one go or not?
Yeah, I'd rather not put her back here though.
Okay.
I'll put her back into that tree down the bottom.
Oh, it's a beautiful day, but my goodness, not to stand around it. I think it's a good side. Now Joe said I can have a go, I kind of really want to go, so come on. Wind's getting up now, that is really
Yeah,
cold,
that's
isn't it? Really
cold.
chill.
Oh,
Look
wants
at
to
that,
go
she
back
said
where
the
it's
voles aren't
hunted.
in the tree,
Yeah.
the voles are over here.
Yeah, she knows where they are too. Leo! Leo! She's
Like,
too good at hunting.
There's
isn't
one
she?
over there somewhere.
She's too good
Look
at
at that.
hunting.
So obviously she can hear Joe, her hearing's immense, but she can tune in to those tiny movements of the little feet and the little squeaks of the shrews and the voles, and she's basically choosing to tune you out, isn't she? And
Definitely. Leo!
scan for her own prey.
Hey!
Look at her.
Don't you just love working with owls?
Right. Where are you, Joe?
Galileo. Earth to Galileo.
Oh, nearly. So with birds in general, but especially with owls, there's no point just shouting and waving and shouting and waving. It's like naughty child syndrome. You're just teaching them that they can come whenever, you'll still be there waiting. So it's a case of Joe's trying to get her attention if she looks our way and trigger a response. Snap her out of it, basically.
She's tuned into
Yeah.
whatever's down there, isn't she?
So she looks like she's daydreaming, but she's focused on a sound. As
Leo! She won't.
she's
do
look at
anything
that,
while
almost,
she's like
almost in
this.
a trance.
Leo! Hey, hey! Anything. Galileo! Hey!
You can see, even though she's sitting on a man-made structure, in front of a man-made structure, the camouflage of blending in is terrific, isn't it? That outline breaking up, well, the pattern breaking up her outline.
You just imagine her in front
Oh.
of a silver birch tree.
Yeah.
Leo! Hey! She only gives you a split second of attention. Leo, come on!
You might have to get out of the way a little bit, George.
She shook her head at us.
Higher in line.
Sorry,
Oh,
just put her head on
hey.
there. Leo, come on! Hey!
And hopefully you heard absolutely nothing. This is silent. What's their nickname? Is it like the
Ghost owl, is it?
ghost owl or, yeah, absolute.
Although that's barn owl as well, isn't it, the ghost owl?
Not a sound.
Oh.
Huge wings.
Thanks, you've let her go
That's-
back to where
Oh, I
she's
didn't
going to
realise
sit again.
that. We'll let her start here and freeze her. If anyone's wondering what's behind us, or behind her rather,
Leo!
that amazing little hovel of a house, that was actually built here by people that like reenactment and studying history. And it's all wattle and daub inside. It's absolutely fascinating. We'll probably take you around there one day soon. just to show you how amazing the technology people had with simple materials. You could build a house.
Leo,
Amazing.
this way. Leo, come here. No, come here.
I want to put my hands under her feathers just to warm up.
No, she'll have you. She's not a
Get out,
nice
yeah.
girl.
Just looks nice. Well, thanks, Joe. We'll go back to freezing and filming our video about telemetry.
Thanks for helping me.
My pleasure.
If it's windy, but if it's still miserable like this, just sit out. Whereas I stand more of the time. She's still a bit heavy. I got her down to weight and then she put her back up yesterday.
Oh, it doesn't matter too much. It's just as long as you don't get bad habits, I guess.
No, and I just want to keep her a bit fit.
Yeah, definitely.
So that when I'm in, if I fly her, I can keep her a bit fit.
Yeah, keep them flying. So this is Lyra, the Lana Falcon here at Icarus Falconry. It's actually owned by Joe. It's one of her personal birds here. And another bird. You can't fly this on our experience days because it does take quite a bit of skill to swing a lure, but you can be involved, you can see this falcon fly, and you can be involved in the pickup and learn a little bit about it as part of some of our experience days. The hood keeps the bird calm, out of sight, out of mind, while Joe's getting ready. It's not eager to go, and its little routine is to have a little bit of chit leg, but not with a camera pointing in its face. So let's see. On this? Yeah. So just a little routine, just a little snack, and then Joe's going to start swinging the lure. Lyra's looking at the bigger animals like I am. Fantastic eyesight. You can see the size of this bird's eyes. They're not for nocturnal vision, they're for immense daytime vision. The super long distance vision, incredible colour vision, and incredible detail at long range as she goes. Compared to the great grey owl, you heard the wing noise of this bird. This bird in a high-speed stoop sounds incredibly loud. The wind rushing over its wings. It does not need to be sneaky like an owl or hunt with sound and hearing. This is one of the high-speed aerial specialists of the world, really. The bigger falcons are all about high speed and high speed manoeuvrability, because for most of them other birds are their mainstay of their prey, and they're catching them often on the wing in fair flight. Now if your diet revolves around you hunting down, chasing and catching other birds, you've got to be pretty skilled at your job, and that's flying. So again, for those that haven't watched our other vlogs, the lure is a means of getting this falcon fit for hunting, and in our case it's not a hunting bird, it's a display falcon and an experience day bird. The lure to it is a flying bird, a piece of prey. It knows full well it's not a bird, but it also knows it has to hunt the lure down, and it's the best way we can mimic another bird in the sky. So the sound of ho carries a long way, and that's the signal you've worked hard enough, you've put in a good show, we're going to let you have your food anyway. So it's caught the lure, it's mantling to stop those buzzards above seeing what it's caught. There's actually no buzzards or red kites above because it's too cold for them to be bothered to soar today. They're all sitting around in trees hoping to see something crawl along underneath them. Well, I think it's the coldest day well, it is the coldest day of the year because the year's only just begun, hasn't it? But it's the coldest day of the winter. Levan says it's -3. Now, I'm not even wearing my wellies. It's that cold. We've got permafrost. It is freezing here. The wildlife pond's frozen over, so that'll be just a sealed, almost like a sealed biome doing its thing. The bacteria and such like that are rotting down those dead leaves and things in the bottom of that pond, that actually will still be going on, but much, much slower. And the amphibians in there now will be full on hibernating. There was a window a week or two ago where frogs were looking like breeding because we had that warm, sort of, I'll say unnaturally warm weather, but it's becoming the norm, that sort of warm winter weather. For sure, these guys will be hibernating now. And even things like, we've got primroses here that began flowering because, if you like, they thought it was spring. It was getting warm, the day length's changing. This happens quite a lot now in the years, and things like the oilseed rape plants on the farmers' fields, there's a lot of those are flowering right now, believe it or not. It happens most years now. What happens is you suddenly do get the winter in January and February. Those oilseed plants will be flattened right down by the frost. These guys will become dormant. It doesn't seem to make that much difference. Once the warm spring weather comes, they seem to flourish, grow and begin flowering properly. So not the end of the world, these kind of weird winters we're having. It's beautiful. Goodness knows what's under there. I imagine there's all kinds of insects and great crested newts hiding under our log pile there and in the walls around here. Looking out there now, fortunately it's not too windy because the wind chill would cut us in half today. We're going to go and film a couple of videos and a bit more of the vlog as well. I can't actually move. This is the most clothing I've worn for months and months. I've got everything I can find in my van, plus this, plus a coat that's now so tight I can't move. If you're moving around, you don't need a lot of layers on. You soon generate heat, but for sure, outside in the countryside, when it's this cold and you're just talking and doing a vlog or doing a video and not doing a lot physically, it is freezing. If you look over there, we've now got things like redwings and field fares. And I was only thinking a couple of weeks ago, there's hardly any migratory thrushes around yet. All the berries are still on the bushes and the trees here. But I presume up in Scandinavia and Northern Europe, if it's like this here, it must be pretty cold up there. And we're starting to see a lot more of those winter migrants now as well.
Horses are running, the horses are running. Look.
But we've got freezing fog. We've got horses, and I can only say thank goodness there's a fence there. Listen to that.
Well, that was
I've got to
scary.
say, magnificent beasts. I just wish they wasn't parking themselves right by the gate I've got to go through. Ooh, they scare me. This is one of our holdback false water cobras. Absolutely gorgeous. And really growing. Like these guys do once they start eating well and getting plenty of food. They really do grow. Our female is looking gravid again, so hopefully in a few months' time we'll have another batch, another clutch of these beautiful snakes, and with a bit of luck some hatchlings of all different colours. Lovely snakes, lovely temperaments. What a chunky creature that is. One day 6 or 7 feet long, but for now just a grown on hatchie. Beautiful. The Brazilian rainbow boa, I have to say, there's a lot of people fascinated in keeping a pet boa or a pet python. I think the Brazilian rainbow boa has got to be one of the top choices if you don't want a royal python. Royal pythons, Brazilian rainbow boas, most pythons and boas by their nature, they're nocturnal. They're not great snakes for seeing something that moves around and does a lot during the day. But if you want a pet snake, especially a boid, boa or a python, I think these guys pretty much have it all. Stunning colours which you just can't see to their sort of real benefit unless you're in sunlight. They really do have a rainbow iridescence over their gorgeous patterns. They don't grow huge, so they're not going to take up a spare room like a Burmese or reticulated python, or even a boa constrictor, which is going to need a lot more room than this guy. Really easy to keep. We keep them on a coir substrate. It's actually quite damp and they thrive. Absolutely docile and friendly. Very handleable. Very beautiful. Don't need a huge space. And greedy feeders, so no feeding issues there whatsoever. There's different rainbow boas from different regions, but it's the Brazilian that gives you that real wow factor of iridescence, which sadly we're not picking up here under artificial light. Absolutely gorgeous snake. And lovely looking, lovely friendly little face. It's much like a royal python has that sort of friendly puppy dog face. These Brazilian rainbow boas, They've got a friendly look too. This one's a year old. It's growing okay. Its mate of the same age is probably 50% bigger. It eats even more than this one. Got a greedier appetite, but it's deep in shed at the moment, so I thought I'd show you this beauty here. That pattern has been drawn on by a human, wouldn't you? You wouldn't think that's a natural pattern. How ridiculous is that? And these aren't morphs or sort of man-bred varieties or strains of colour variants. This is a wild type in all its glory, except you really are missing out on that iridescence under this light. But we're not going outside because it's freezing cold. Highly recommended. Brazilian rainbow boa. If you want a boa or a python. They're not the cheapest, but they're certainly not expensive anymore. And it's going to last you 20 or 30 years, so good investment. So we've seen those lovely Brazilian rainbow boas, which get to a nice manageable size as a sort of a pet snake. If you feel the urge to keep a pet snake and you've got to have something like a giant python or a boa, this boa constrictor is probably going to be something, just because of the name, that is going to kind of draw you. We love those sort of things with a bit of kudos, don't we? This one's a year old. Bear in mind, this is going to be a huge snake. It's going to be a big snake. Males don't grow overly large. Females get pretty big and bulky. Much more of a handful to sort of house and look after than a rainbow boa or maybe a royal python or something like that. So bear that in mind. It's not going to be something that is going to overtake your house like a Burmese or reticulated python maybe, but for sure, as cute as a sort of a baby or a little young boa constrictor is, it is going to grow big. It's going to live for 25, 30 years. If you think, well, I'll just move it on when it gets too big, don't get it. It's not fair, is it, on the animal? Don't get it. Get something that you can keep, or if you're not really committed, don't get any animal at all. Beautiful, beautiful snakes, boa constrictors. Aren't all snakes, but absolutely. Bear in mind not only the lifespan, but the size of enclosure this guy's going to need in the not too distant future at all. If you're short on space, short on commitment maybe, there's definitely better snakes. I find Brazilian rainbow boas have the most beautiful temperament. Boa constrictors, a little bit more unpredictable. They can be snappy and take you by surprise now and again. Doesn't bother me, but it might if it's one of your first kind of pet snakes and you're not used to sort of snake behaviour. Bulky snake, don't do hardly anything, and yet they've got an absolutely lightning fast strike. They're catching prey, wandering close by as they're camouflaged on the rainforest floor. Spend a lot more time climbing around when they're young, a lot more time on the ground in the wild amongst the leaf litter as adults. They'd certainly catch you by surprise if they feel like giving you a snap and telling you to leave them alone in their viv. Bear that in mind, and bear in mind the overall size these guys are going to get to, 10 feet plus for a female and several feet for a male. And they're big snakes, they're not just long, they're a big bulky snake, and they need the room. Very beautiful indeed. Blue beauty rat snake hatches are doing well. These are two we bought at about a year old, so they're probably 2 years old coming up now. Beautiful, really nice blue one, this one. Very variable from very bluish to very greenish species, and we've got a sort of four all told. The young ones are pretty average for blue beauties. They like to have a little snap, of course. Oh, well, they wouldn't be blue beauties if they didn't, would they? But no problem to handle them. And they calm down pretty good. Well, alright then. Maybe not this one. The big one's great when he's out. And the other male we've got who's quite big, probably the only snake I've got that's not gone from snappy to tame, is Savage. And this is the biggest of the two females. And we've got another couple of years, I suppose, before they're really ready to pair up with the boys. But certainly a good looking one, this one. The other one's more greedish and probably 2/3 the size. This one's a real greedy guts and always eats. The more they eat, the more they grow. Some are pickier and they grow slower, and some eat every time you feed them, and of course then they're going to grow bigger. And like fish, they don't give off any hormones that fill up their vivariums, whereas fish will give off hormones to fill up the body of water they live in, and it will or can stunt their growth to match their surroundings. Snakes grow and keep on growing their whole lives according to their food intake, and for those that don't know, they never stop growing, but once they're mature their growth rate slows down considerably. What a beautiful snake, beauty snake. My goodness me, you can see why. What a cracking animal. Look at it now, absolutely freezing frog. It's Saturday.
Sorry, Daddy, you just said frog.
Did I? I did, didn't I? Fucking hell. Have a look at these, it's freezing fog today. Have a look at these cobwebs. They actually almost look fake, like party cobwebs on Halloween or something. Have a look at these. Absolutely amazing. Those ones over there, they really do look like we've stuck them on for sure, don't they? Anyway, it's Saturday, it is really, really, really cold. It is a beautiful day, the sun's trying to come through. We've got stuff to do, and we really hope you've enjoyed the vlog. Like and subscribe, subliminal subscribe, and also comment below the kind of content you want to see in the vlogs. Not really for the videos, but for the vlogs. Do you want to see more lizards? Do you want to see more snakes? Do you want to see more owls? Comment below, and we can tailor it from our wide range of sort of animals we keep. Just kind of keep you guys entertained, really. We enjoy doing it. We want you to enjoy the vlogs as well. See you soon.